Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It's Tuesday morning. I'm off to a good start. I remember what day it is. Uh, Enjoyed a holiday yesterday. Spent a lot of time. Here's that magic line: catching up on my sleep. We all know there is no such thing, but I pretended. I was relatively quiet this weekend, spent a lot of time reflecting. Uh, Friday evening, I spoke with my friend, and as per usual, we yucked it up. I was texting back and forth with friends, and again, yucking it up. Uh, Text with my sister, and hey, you know my routine. We just spend a lot of time just sharing some humor back and forth. The world needs humor. I looked at a bunch of emails and a couple, 2, 3 comments. I haven't gotten to my TikTok comments. I saw that, the numbers were piling up, but I'll get to those today. Yeah, one of the things I reflected on was shallow and empty friendships. Connection with pretext. Yeah. I had to look at myself. What was I looking for with certain connections? What did I get? What did I present? Basically, how did I show up to get the results that I got? A lot of times I place myself in the role of teacher. Or, educator. Let me put it like that. Because people always come with their stuff, their own stuff, and their own information. And I will help clarify some of the information that they have or provide additional information that they need. And this as far as social justice is concerned. This is as far as systemic racism is concerned. People don't even like to hear that phrase, I'm telling you. But the reality of it is that this country is founded on and steeped in isms. I watched 2 documentaries this weekend that really blew my mind. I need to say that. The first was on the prison in Angola. And y'all, seriously, that prison is basically a slave plantation. And has been. And it highlights the corruption of the criminal justice system. We like to think there are no political prisoners in or from the U.S. I'm going to argue that you think again. And those of you who study history, and those of you who know about history, need to discuss COINTELPRO. It was a counter intelligence movement. Yeah, that part. To undermine the basic rights of U.S. citizens. that part. And the other documentary that I watched was on the Black Panther movement. And that was for social justice. And because certain racist individuals, J. Edgar Hoover, was threatened by the aspect of Black power, he twisted the words and filtered it to the media as an aspect of an uprising, when it was meant as a self-empowerment slogan for people of African American descent. And, you know, I sat with all that information Saturday and Sunday. Monday, I'm binge watching a series that is no longer on the air. And there's this banter between two of the characters, a black cop and a white cop. And the white cop has been labeled a racist. And he was attempting to justify himself. So he had this ongoing monologue with another character. I was going to say soliloquy, but that's when the character is talking to themselves. But he had a monologue with this other character, and he was basically saying that he doesn't understand the term African American. Why do black people have to have the whole continent? And the way the other character, the black cop, broke it down was like, wow. You know, every so often I need that, hey, listen. And the black character basically said the term African American is all encompassing because when people were brought over, notice I said people, I didn't say slaves. We're talking about human beings. When people were brought over, they were denied the right to speak their language. They were denied the right to any kind of mapping to even indicate where they came from. No books. Imagine being, you know, steeped in this rich continent. And, you know, knowing that there are kings, queens, you know, royalty in your continent, but constantly being told you're stupid, you're lazy, you know, there is no input. And this is why I am basically deconstructing Christianity and telling the truth about Christianity, in that it has a Eurocentric foundation. Africa has basically been stripped from what we know about Christianity. You know, I identify as a Christian, but I also know the input of Africa in the influence of what transpired. You know, if you think about it, and you think about the story of Christmas that we've been told over the years, we know that 3 wise men showed up. At least that's what we've been taught. We know that one of those wise men was a black man. Or at least that's what we've been taught. Now, if there's no African influence, where did that black man come from? So then we try to justify that by saying, oh, there was a group called the Moors. And then we have the Hollywood bastardization of, history. When we talk about Cleopatra, everybody sees Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah. Talk about Mark Antony and Cleopatra being together. We see Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. When we talk about westerns and cowboy movies, we see John Wayne. And we see indigenous folks as combative for no reason. Hostile for no reason. Pretty much how people of color are depicted today. We don't talk about the Karen-esque behaviors that incited or enticed that result. All this being said, there's two sides to the history, and we only hear from one. And we're continuing to deny access to the stories from the other side. We have this romanticized notion of what history is, and for the most part, people never go beyond, what they're being told.